Hi, welcome to Al Tarot. And today I'm actually starting a new series of doing 2 to 3 30-minute free sessions so that you could see what different modalities are out there, educational, yes, and also for healing purposes. I sometimes when I was watching YouTube videos about people giving other people reading, it just brought a lot of healing to myself because I didn't realize that people could do the connecting to spirit the way that they did, and it was just abundant for me.
Right.
So, um, we'll get started.
Okay, great. I'm excited.
So again, before we started recording, it's important to know that I don't even, I hate labels because I don't even know what to call myself. I'm just a little bit of everything. Spiritual modality wise, I do Reiki. I've done
Oh,
psychic readings. Mediumship comes with me, but I'm still not, I don't think I consider myself a master medium. Like, I'm still working through that. So we'll see what happens and hopefully
sure.
this would be a great session.
Yes.
So I invite you to breathe with me. Just to Okay. So information's already coming through. Before I even dialed in to to this the Zoom call, I was trying not to connect with you because I don't like to do that. I like to connect with you when we're in person, like when we're talking.
Right.
And it just kept coming through just information and things that I was doing that I was like, huh, that's interesting.
Okay.
Um, so your aura energy is blue. So, and it kind of reminds me growing up in in my family, we would gather together, mostly women, and we would cook for like let's just say we're going to cook for the family. And everybody in the kitchen was talking about we were gossiping and we were, oh my
Right.
God, did you hear? Did you hear? Oh my God, da, da, da. And um
Hair.
I feel like that brings community. Number
Mhm.
one, it's something that humans do to connect, right? It's
Right.
something that we tend to do to get stay on track on what everybody's doing and happening or whatever.
Hmm.
But it also gives you tidbits of the truth. Okay.
True.
So I feel like there's a whole story that you're not listening or you're not hearing about, and that even though you may think I know the story, but I think sometimes, and in the Mexican culture, we say something like le echan mucha crema a los tacos, which means they like to, sauce it up. So they only give you the bits that make it really spicy, if you know what I mean.
Yes.
So, so why is this coming through? I'm not sure, but I'm just gonna go with it. Okay, I'm just gonna follow it.
Sure. Sure.
Um, I feel like there is something, and we'll dive into it to try to understand it, that you're not hearing the whole story about in
Yes.
your life.
I believe so.
Okay. And when you allow yourself to be open-minded enough to hear the whole story, then you'll receive it.
Okay.
It's kind of like,
Makes sense.
yeah, it's kind of like maybe if we've already said in somewhere inside of us or in our mind, now this is the story. It has to be.
Hmm.
We're we kind of stay stuck and we don't accept new information to come through.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let me get more information that is coming through.
Okay. Mhm.
A man is coming through, okay?
Okay.
And for whatever reason, it reminds me of my dad, where my mom was very vocal about what he did and what he did not do
Mhm.
growing up. And he never got to tell his story. He never got to tell his side of it.
Mhm.
Sometimes we grew up with very strong women that have preconceived ideas of what it right is and what wrong is and how people are supposed to show up for them and their children.
Mhm.
But sometimes, and it keeps coming up over and over and over again. So I'm just going to tell you. And I don't know if you keep up with what's going on in the news. It reminds me of Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni. I don't know if you know the story.
No, I
Okay.
don't.
It, that story keeps coming up, and
Okay.
it's a woman that said this guy did something awful to try to get out of something inside of her. Like there was something misaligned, something that needed healing with inside of her.
Okay.
And in order for her, I know it's going like a long way, but this is how it's coming through. In order
Okay.
for her to feel good about who she was, sometimes she tends to create stories about the men in her life.
Okay.
Okay.
Hmm.
So what's coming through is, and I don't know how this resonates, but I'm just gonna say it.
Hmm.
I didn't mean to leave you. I didn't mean to let you go, but it was like fighting with the big energy coming over and coming through. It's like he was always kind of met with this push. And the only reason that push kept coming through, it's because mom was protecting the story she created.
Okay.
Do you understand what I mean by that?
Yeah.
Okay. Mom was protecting the story she created. And in order for her to protect it, she kind of had to make it seem like dad wasn't gonna, that never was around, that dad did this and did that. It was just a way to protect her victimhood.
Okay.
Okay. It just kind of feels like an unbalance with the masculine and the feminine energy. And
Okay.
I feel like even in your family, perhaps in your childhood, the women kind of were stronger in a sense. They were more dominating. They were, and even the men, you can start noticing if you really focus and pay attention, the men were never good enough. Within the mind somewhere, there is this sense like, huh, like, I wish you would do this and I wish you would do that. There was never this place where it's contentment.
Okay.
Okay.
I, yeah, I didn't feel that with my parents growing up, but
Okay.
okay.
I don't know why the story's coming through. So let's just
Yeah.
go with it and see where
Yeah.
it leads us.
Okay.
But I guess to summarize so far, there's this masculine energy that didn't get a fair chance. Okay. And then there's this feminine energy that was, and I don't want you to fix your mind of mom and dad. It could be,
Okay.
I want you to be
Someone
open.
that I dated, maybe.
No, no, no.
or
Well,
no?
we'll
Oh,
see. It
okay.
doesn't feel like it feels like a story. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
No, I understand. My dad was more quiet. He wasn't able to vocal. He wasn't very vocal. My mom did more of the disciplining and, stuff like that. And my father was kind of quiet about things like that,
Hmm.
or just in general. It was hard for him to really speak what was on his mind.
Right. So there's a reason why this dynamic is coming. The feminine
Okay.
are driven, they're louder. Um,
Okay.
they and I want you to sit with it and like notice it in your dynamic, notice it in your
Okay.
sister's dynamic, in people that you grew up with, and notice there's a pattern.
Okay.
Okay. This is where I do a lot of work is
Okay.
patterns. Okay.
Okay.
There's this sense of needing safety and security for all women. We
Hmm.
kind of just have that embedded in us
Yes.
that we need to be feel safe and we need to feel secure.
Right.
But when you already go into a relationship or a marriage thinking that you have to do everything,
Hmm.
you're not giving the person that's coming in, which is the male, a clean slate.
Okay.
You're giving them already a preconceived foundation of who they are and who they're not, even though you're just meeting them.
Okay.
So we have these moments where we think, and this is very underworld stuff,
Hmm.
unconscious. You
Okay.
don't even realize that you're creating your father with a relationship.
Hmm.
You're creating somebody that they cannot speak for themselves. You're creating somebody that mm, has a difficult time with conflict
Yes.
or feels like they can't do anything right. Okay. And the reason why this comes through is because your foundation as a female woman was created by looking at mom and looking at dad. You don't realize that they're creating this little actress of you
Hmm.
that is going to try to do and think the way that she is thinking. And the only way to break a cycle, an ancestral pattern,
Hmm.
is it's not for the man to step up. Because at the moment, the man may not know how to because you're so powerful.
Okay.
Okay. The women in your lineage, the women in your life are powerful.
Hmm.
The way to heal that pattern and and it's one of those things. I don't know if you know what a generational curse is.
No.
A generational curse is when in a family there's a pattern
Hmm.
that gets passed down from one generation to another
Okay.
until somebody breaks it
Okay.
and allows the future generations to step in alignment with truth.
Hmm.
Okay?
Okay.
So it
Hmm.
looks like this. There is this woman talking to another woman saying she was from Asian descent, and they're usually very stoic. They don't say I love you to each other in their family.
Really? Hmm.
Hmm.
Okay.
That's what she was saying. The Asian woman was saying to the other woman.
Okay.
And she says, my father was passing away, was dying. And I wanted to tell him I love him. I really wanted to do something that we've never done for each other. So I asked him, Dad, can I tell you I love you? And he's like, Yes, I would like for you to tell me. And the moment the words came out of her mouth with the heart, sincere emotion, I love you, Dad. It's like her whole heart opened, and it's like she knew at that moment that she broke that generational curse.
I see. Hmm.
So it brings a new light into the family.
Hmm.
Mhm. So it was a long drive, a long journey for us to get here. The pattern is not that you're doing anything wrong, not that your mom did anything wrong. It was something that was baton that was passed
Right.
by from woman to woman to woman. And it
Right.
was and back in that day, your mom's mom,
Hmm.
she she probably did everything to try to survive.
Hmm.
Because back in the day, I mean, if there's a lot of toxic masculinity now, I can't even imagine back then
Hmm.
where the women did everything,
Right.
right?
Hmm.
So why is this coming up? Why is this message coming up? Why is this pattern coming up for you to see? I feel like the next generation that is in your life. So not you and your husband, not you and your like not uncles and not aunties, but it's the next generation would be like child, right? Or even grandchild. It's in order for them to try to see things differently from a different perspective,
Hmm.
there's somebody that needs to show them what life can be like,
Okay.
guide them in you know what, this is how we lived life, but it's your turn to figure out what that looks for you. And everything that we showed you, it doesn't mean it can't be changed. You
Hmm.
could start your life living it differently than us. Don't have a fixed mindset
Hmm.
that it has to be the way you and me and dad or, you know, did it. You
Hmm.
could choose to be who you want to be,
Hmm.
right? And letting them come up with their foundation and their formula, even though having it's you did give them a good foundation, but having them figure it out with that flexibility of mind, with no judgment, is what the next generation needs so that they could work through it and break those generational curses that have kind of been keeping some ancestral feminine wound fully alive that we're breaking and breaking and breaking and breaking. Okay.
Okay. Well, I guess how it would resonate with me is I have no children
Mm-hmm.
or obviously grandchildren. So,
Mm-hmm.
but I have a brother
Mm-hmm.
that I feel is, I don't want to say intimidated by me, but I am stronger than him.
Yes.
And I think, because now we have some, there's a little conflict there.
Mm-hmm.
Not that I feel I'm trying to create it, but maybe he feels I am because
Mm-hmm.
I'm strong the way I speak. And he's like, just tuning me out now.
Okay.
So that could be where
Yeah.
this is coming from.
Right. I this is the part where I kind of see the shadow aspect of strong women. And I'm like that too, just so you know. I could I could say that I'm open to listening,
Me too.
but once they start talking, it's like, no, you're wrong. Like, no, you're wrong. And I'm not letting them finish the thought. If he's your brother,
Hmm.
so he grew up in the same household, right? The
Hmm.
woman was strong.
Yes.
And what ends up happening is he becomes like kind of more like dad in a lot of ways, right?
Yes.
And has a difficult time speaking. And for whatever reason, it's to allow yourself to listen without already creating a
Judgment.
response, a
Right.
response in your head.
Oh, response. Yeah.
Yeah, because you're healing him by
Hmm.
listening to him.
Hmm.
You're continuing the trauma effect by not listening and
Hmm.
being and cutting him off while he speaks and interrupting his thoughts. It's like, no, 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 wait, I'm going to listen to what you have to say, right? I, there's that pattern that either you decide to break in this life or you don't. But what
Right.
I'm saying is, even though you may not think other people are listening and watching this unfold that are from the younger generation, they are. And perhaps even trying to learn from what your interaction together.
Hmm.
And they may not, and it comes back to the beginning
Hmm.
when my family would get together and start cooking, we would start talking. Did you hear? Da, 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 da. So
Right.
even in those moments that you're not a part of, and other people are talking about it, they're going to put in their 2 cents of what is happening and creating all of this. And that if the younger generation's listening, they're hearing, they're learning from your interaction with your brother.
Hmm.
Okay. And they question their worth. They question their value by other people. That's how we learn, right? As kids,
Right.
we start picking up things like, oh my God, if my mom's treated this way, it must mean that we're not worth it. We're not worth loving. Okay, we're not worth having compassion over or whatever.
Hmm.
And it creates like a mental voice, and we continue to foster that as we get older and we think
Hmm.
those thoughts, right?
Right.
I know that was a long journey for it to come through, and I'm not sure why it's coming through like this. But if you would like, one day inviting your brother to come over and just listening to him, and he may not have it right. I'm not saying listening to him and not grounding him. I'm saying just listening to him. I feel like hasn't had a lot of people just listen to him without some sort of confrontation, some sort of you're wrong energy, right? So now you have this moment to be his healer just by listening, and that breaks generational curses. Okay. Approaching something so completely different is going to open a door for you and for him. Now, I don't know why it's coming up like that. It never does. So I'm just going to pull a couple cards to see what.
Sure. It's funny is saying that because I have tried to analyze the situation, and even when I do listen to him, he he doesn't have any answers. I mean, the situation is part of, he was appointed in charge of my parents' estate, and he's not doing the right thing. He's not dividing anything. He's not, and he just says when he's ready. And I said, Frank, but it's not when you're ready. This is Dad's wishes.
Right.
And he cuts me off, and now he's not really speaking.
Yeah.
So I don't know how to get around that. I mean, you can't just, you have to tell me why you're not doing it,
Right.
you know? and tell me even what's there. He's not even sharing what's there, nothing. And it's hard to communicate with him
Yeah,
about it.
I completely understand. And in fact, I was married to someone that um got his parents' house and the furniture, his parents were all there. We had two storage units full of our furniture, but he could not get rid of anything from his parents' house. He
Hmm.
just kept it there.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, we've been paying $400 a month on just storage units. We need to bring our furniture into this house. And he's like, he would get really defensive. He would get really angry, but and he wouldn't, he's like, no, no, no. And I'm like, okay. So I approached him and I'm sorry. I I don't know what it feels like to have
Mhm.
a family home that you grew up in and your dad passing away and all of this, you grew up with all these furniture. I mean, this the same, right? Since when you were a kid.
Yeah,
So I don't know what
exactly.
it feels like to get rid of this furniture for you emotionally, because he couldn't tell me. Like he could
Well,
just,
same thing. He's hanging on to my, well, he still lives, he never moved out of the house and he's, same thing. And he's hanging on to my parents' things. And I said, Frank, it's not, this is their, this is what they like. That's their
mhm,
taste. Don't you want your own? I try to say it to him like that, and he doesn't want to
no,
hear it.
no.
Yeah. So it's the same situation.
Right. So what happened is I approached him and I said, I'm so sorry. I don't know
Mhm.
how it feels like to grow up in this house
Mhm.
and all of your life, and then all of a sudden someone coming over and saying, "Hey, it's time to get rid of this stuff so that you
Right.
could start living your life."
Right.
And all of a sudden, he just broke down and said, "It's really, really hard to let go." Because for him, it was an identity. And I
Wow.
don't know if you've ever done that type of work, but it's
No.
he's letting go of his whole childhood. For him, that's what it felt like.
That like, yeah, no, it
It
makes
was,
sense. I never
yeah,
thought of it like that because, most people just move on from that and
right.
grow. I guess it's a part of growing, maybe.
Yeah,
I don't know.
right. So when you approach someone with compassion, understanding, and willing to listen and giving him or her that space to be vulnerable without attack energy,
Right,
because it took everything I got to be like, okay, I'm going to meet you where you are and we're going
right.
to work through it. So, what I'm getting just straight out, and I completely understand this because, again, I was married to somebody like that. The Nine of Wands. So, you've been feeling heavy dealing with this,
Yes.
exhausted,
Hmm.
unappreciated,
Hmm.
and it feels like the more you try to fix it, the worse it gets. And
Yes.
it has to do with the attachment he has with the house, with everything.
Hmm.
He is not emotionally and or maybe perhaps mentally capable of letting go of something he doesn't know why he feels the way he feels.
Yes. I
So
believe so.
the devil, you're not going to fix him. Number one, you're just
Right.
not. So the only way to approach it is through hearing him out without judgment, creating a safe space for him to really hone it. Like I would say something like kind of what I did with my husband. I don't know what it feels like
Right.
to let go of something that you've been a part of your whole life.
Hmm.
And I want to hear how you feel, what it feels. I want to understand and feel what you feel. And I don't want to fight you anymore. I want to meet you where you are.
Hmm.
And we could take this one small step at a time. And I know you're like, wait a minute, this, this needs to fall down already. We need to like keep moving, right? But if you force something to break, it may, it may break in a way y- that may not be repairable.
Hmm. I know.
Okay.
I,
So I think the most compassion, the most loving thing, and the most healing thing for him that you could do is meet him where he's at and help him walk his journey, like slowly, but also giving him timelines where, where are you to meet this timeline? How can I help you? How can we work through this? Because I think he's so used to people taking things away from him that he's not ready to give up.
mm, okay.
And I want you to sit with it and really reflect with that. I don't know if you've ever been in a relationship that you weren't ready to give up,
Hmm.
or
Yes.
and it feels terrible.
Hmm.
It
Yes.
absolutely feels terrible. So there's a lot of grieving, there's a lot of mourning. There's times where you're so much in turmoil that you can't even think straight or even plan anything,
True.
right?
I
So
understand.
that's I feel like
But he's he is right.
that's where he's at. If you give him too many options, that just confuses him and he's going to shut down.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've tried that before, if you've done it, but for him, it's one step at a time, one or two options, that's it. And meeting him where he's at emotionally and mentally. Because I feel like that first love that you've fallen in love with a person and they break up with you, or you had to break up with them, but you still love them.
Hmm.
It is traumatizing when
Hmm.
you're forced to let something go that you're not ready to let go. And I think that he has experienced those type of moments quite a bit. And now that's why he clings to things in his life and people.
Well, he has had a past relationship that he was so in love with this woman and she broke his heart.
Hmm.
So that could be part of it that he never hasn't gotten
Mm,
over, you know.
mm-mm. People like that usually don't like to feel grief.
Right.
So they stay busy or they distract themselves quite a bit. They blame the world for whatever's happening to them because the idea of accountability scares the crap out of them.
Right. Yes, I believe he is scared. Yeah.
Hmm. So what I'm getting, even though we took a long journey, and I am going to answer some questions as well, but what I'm getting is like the Southern people say from the South is I hate analogies because I always mess them up. Something about honey. It's better to
Yes, I know what you mean.
let me say it because I always do this. It's better to something with honey and then instead of just being, mean.
Yeah,
What is the analogy? Can you tell me?
I know. I can't think of it now myself.
I'm terrible at it. All right.
Yeah.
So, I know it's a long thing, but I think there were several messages here.
Yes.
The first message is lighting a candle for your dad
Okay.
and really reflecting the value in the beauty that he was,
Yes, I do.
and really just being able to like hear him out, even if he's passed. Sometimes when we're really strong-willed, especially as females, we don't open that door for the masculines in our lives to fully express themselves in a lot of ways.
Mhm.
So lighting that white candle to show that I hear you, and like thank, and like just being grateful. Just say to the candle, I'm so grateful, Dad, you were, this, you were that, and you showed me how to do this. And I loved every moment. I still like the smell of your cologne. Like everything that you want to say to that candle, light him. Because again, not a practice medium, but I feel his presence and his patience in the room. Like patience. But your mom was amazing.
Yes.
Your mom was fire. And and there's nothing wrong with fire. Fire is beautiful. But if we don't balance it out, then our men in our lives can't express themselves.
Mhm.
And that's just something not only for you to kind of sit with that relationship dynamic and 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 really be like reflective of what she taught you, because you're a
Mhm.
strong ass woman and that's great. And what he taught you is patience, right?
Yes.
Okay. That's the first message. The second message is a community is needed. So if you haven't been, or if you do get together with your family, or that's really, really important to share bread together. I think that's how you say it.
Hmm. Yep.
Once in a while, meet up with people that you have not met. Open that opportunity or that door for you to connect with people that you have not met. And then the next thing, just because you don't have children in your life, it doesn't mean that you're not teaching others by your behavior and the way you speak. Because regardless, people will talk about you. It's kind of like when
Well,
mom and dad left, right?
hmm.
They talked about them and mom's fireness and dad's, God bless his patience and his willingness to continue to try, or his willingness to losing his confidence at times, because women like us that were very fiery, very strong, we sometimes erode our men's confidence over time.
Hmm.
And then they start growing up thinking that that's the dynamic that I should be in, right? So everything you speak, everything you say in front of other people, it's a lesson.
Right.
Okay.
That's true.
That's the second message. The third message is meeting your brother where he's at is really, really important, because even though he's defensive, even though he doesn't know how to express himself in a lot of ways, there's a man in pain.
I know. I know.
And once you try forcing things for a man that is in pain, it's hard. It could get bad really quick.
Yeah, I know.
Okay. Is there any question that you have for me? Um anything that you want to ask me right now that we're together?
Yeah. I have had another brother that passed away,
Hmm.
and he has two children
Hmm.
that there has been some conflict with my sister-in-law and I, which I don't understand what it was. I think my brother has said he thought it was jealousy between me and the kids because the kids, I was the aunt.
Right.
So, oh, Aunt Donna, come play with me, da da da. So I think she got jealous.
Hmm.
And it really made a horrible relationship. I mean,
Hmm.
we never really had words, but I knew she didn't. Any chance she can, she would throw a dig, but I never answered her,
Right.
because of my brother.
Hmm.
And but the kids don't talk to me, and they haven't talked to me in, I don't know, maybe 8, 9 years now. And I would love to have a relationship with them again.
Yeah, it's so beautiful because I feel a lot of love there. Woman. So in the beginning, we were talking about how gossip is one-sided,
Right.
right? And how kids may hear things that might be one-sided. And I think that's what happened.
Yes,
And
I
I
know.
and I think that the only way to heal the past with them, because you don't have to do that with mom,
Right.
is to just say, send them a message on Facebook or wherever they are and say, just thinking about you
I have,
and
and
no
they don't
response.
respond. No,
There's going to be a day when they will respond.
I hope so.
They will. And I'm going to say that that poison that was, they're going to start seeing the truth. And there's going to be a moment when you reach out. I'm not saying to reach out today. When you feel called to do it again, that
Mhm.
is the time. And they're going to reach out back because they're going to know you never gave up. Even if they ghosted you, you still were there. And it's something beautiful. And regardless of what happened to them, everything's going to come out. And the only thing I would say is just continue to be who you are, continue to love yourself, continue to love um, the people in your life, and truly, truly find moments, even though I know that we always want to make an excuse, we're too busy, but find moments to light candles, even for them. I actually think that would be great. If you light a candle for dad, for whatever reason, it's like, light a candle for me. Light a candle for them and say, I love you. As you light that candle, say, I love you. I've never left you. I've always been there and I will always be there for you. And then light the candle because what you're praying for
Mhm.
the part of them to recognize the part in you, and I think things will change. And I can't wait to
Okay.
hear back. Truly. But it's like it's so interesting how things, because the reading that I gave you today was, I never go in that direction, but I think I needed to say everything because all of what I said somehow fit into the puzzle of
You
your
did.
life.
Yes,
So, um,
very much so.
so thank you for doing this with me. I greatly
Thank you.
appreciate it, and know that you're absolutely loved, and you're a spoiled little girl. I think you have a lot of love in your life, and a lot of people may not feel like they do. And you bring that sunlight into the world, and I'm really grateful for that. So
Thank
thank you.
you.
All right.
Thank you. Yeah, it
Thank you.
was really great reading. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Have a great
Uh,
day.
you too.
Bye.
Bye bye.